Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to our analytical review throughout the month of February. Now, what's quite astounding about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that I will simply get straight to the chase, ladies and gentlemen, and showcase to you what exactly I've done throughout this month. Now, as we take a look here to our channel analytics, you can see in February, people watch your videos 29,076 times. And you can see going all the way back here to February 1st, which of course for the keen-eyed observer, that's when I actually passed my driver's test. 997 people watched. And we go to the very end, look at that, 1,376. But what's even more impressive is that if you could see just along the graph here, is that by the time we pick up round about the 9th of February, we seem to get into a bit of more consistent pattern of the mid to low thousands right here. We get, for example, we get 1,519, then we get to 1,137, 1,327, 1,125, 1,210, 1,259, 1,197, and then we pick up, and here we are right here at 1,376. I'm actually, if I'm being completely honest, ladies and gentlemen, I am overwhelmed by this impression, ladies and gentlemen. And even if we was to go onto my Social Blade, for example, and we sort of just go on to detailed statistics right here, and just going through the list of the figures here, is that I do still think that the YouTube analytics is slightly more accurate in all things considered, because again there are some periods on here like Tuesday the 21st of February where the data is not shown, and it's also shown on the 11th and the 9th. But this is altogether it almost puts things into a bit more of a strange sort of perspective right here from daily, what it reckons I average daily in subscribers, then weekly, and apparently it claims I get 90 subscribers in basically a month, which, all things considered, ladies and gentlemen, it's just 10 away from getting to 100 per month. And 100 per month is really not bad. It means that we could probably get to 7,000 subscribers by the time October rolls around. And hey, 1,000 subscribers is no mean feat, ladies and gentlemen. I remember when I first got to my first 1,000 subscribers, and it took roughly about like maybe 5 months, I think. But needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, I was very grateful for them all, and I'm very grateful for what we have right now. And this is just the natural order of things, ladies and gentlemen, that we go from strength to strength. I mean, we're already 2 months down for this year. That's a whole 6 of our year gone. And we've come a very long way. And just to give you an idea about how far it seems we've gone, you can see right here, monthly game video views for Raging Reality of, well, we can start here. This is December of 2022, 2,381 video views per day. And even if we just opened up a calculator right here, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a myth as to what that looks like. So let's see, 2381 divided by 31. It means on average, we got something roughly 76. I'm going to round that up to 77 just for the sake of accuracy. But yeah, apparently that's like 77 views a day. Meanwhile, for the last, let's just say the last week, we've been averaging 6,818. Well, I'd say this is sort of more for, I don't know if this is for throughout the whole of February or just for the last 2 weeks. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, that is no mean feat. And even here, it shows daily 974. That's nearly, pulling up the figure again, that's like nearly 900 more viewers on average than what it was when we were still in December. And again, we take this up to January, which shows 15,902, and we go up to here, 28,763, where if we compare this to the analytics again, we go to January, and 17,131 views in January. And give that some perspective again, 12,000 more viewers came to this channel in February than they did in January. And I put that down to very, very key specific ideas, ladies and gentlemen. And these are not particularly very difficult ones, but they're easy enough for anyone to sort of like understand. The first is that a lot of the videos that I put out in February are starting to get more and more traction as the days go by. For example, my reaction to Susan Boyle's Britain's Got Talent audition, it started off roughly about like 400 by the time, whenever I released it, Jan 23rd. So it was roughly about a week went by, and it was sort of like up to about 300 views. And actually, I'll tell you what, we can just check this out right now. And this is actually a really interesting, great feature that YouTube Studio does, is that you can actually check the analytics for when videos got views in specific periods. So as you can see right here, if we just go to the beginning of February, 162, and it even shows here typical in this period is something between 20 and 200. And then as February's gone by, we went from 5, 16, 23, and etc. It keeps going up gradually, little by little, and then by the time we get to, I want to say even roughly about here, Saturday, February 18th, it was only on 767, and then immediately the next day, 900, and then the next day, 1,064, then the next day, 1,528, and then the next day, 2,129. And you could just see it by this curve right here, exactly how fascinating it is. And even to this very date, at this time, 3,079 views this got in what I can only describe as just over 5 weeks. And I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, that's not bad by my reckoning. And it even shows you up here in real time as well. 163 people watched it in the last 48 hours, and since this was published as well. And that's grand, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's absolutely amazing, just the sort of things you could do now to keep on track with analytics and all this information. And anyone who is always keen on, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of you want to like earn some revenue on this, is that you don't just see the numbers on the screen, you can control the information. And the better you can control it, the more money you can make. Everything is wired to this panel we see right here. Your dashboard, your content, your analytics, comment sections, earn revenue, everything. I could almost literally stay here for whole days and like generate nearly 2,000 more views in a single day just by utilizing the analytics to my advantage. And it goes for just about everything. From my videos talking about the Marseillaise or Ukraine is not yet lost, or even to bands I only just discovered in the last number of weeks, like Wagakiki, or even returning to Baby Metal, or for Bandmade, even stuff that I didn't really think was going to do particularly very well all throughout the month of February has done certainly a lot better than I think I ever gave myself credit for. And bear in mind, these are just top content in this period, as in the sort of things that are just steadily gaining views, etc, etc, etc. Not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the month of February, I've been running. I think I've run roughly about 2 special events, all things considered. That is the Super Bowl special and my Valentine's Day special, and it's here, ladies and gentlemen, where one of my 2 secret weapons for this year come into effect, which might also explain where these extra views have come from. Throughout this year, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be engaging in what I like to call special events. These are basically just more videos put out to celebrate a certain day. I mean, for example, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 1st of March. It's also a holiday in Wales, which is commonly referred to as St. David's Day, patron saint of Wales. And I took the liberty upon myself to push out 8 videos all talking about Welsh bands and Welsh musicians. It's just the sort of thing I kind of wanted to do because, number one, it's experimenting my horizon and checking out more music I was unaccompanied to, like The Blackout, Skindred, or Budgie. And I got a kick out of all of these things. And even if all things don't quite go according to plan, ladies and gentlemen, I still had a really good time. And that's always something that I always just want to check out anyway, and I don't think there's too much of a problem with that. And if we could all have a good time, that's even better. So that's just to give one example. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, all throughout March, there are a number of special events that are going to be taking place. For example, there is the Commonwealth Day special, which is going to be including songs from groups from England, Canada, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cyprus, South Africa, and Australia, which is still effectively a part of the Commonwealth. Just because I think it'd be pretty interesting, and I think just to get more things involved and make each day a little bit special by doing things a bit differently. Not to mention, this channel is in crying need of getting stuff from South Africa because it's one of the few countries that I've seldom yet to actually explore their music scene. So that's going to be pretty cool. There is also, ladies and gentlemen, another patron saint's holiday that's going to be happening this year. Well, specifically this month, St. Patrick's Day, patron saint of the Republic of Ireland. And it's also a very significant day because it will be my mother's 60th birthday. And you would understand as well as I do that I want to make it almost doubly special right there. Because one, it's where my family came from. I'm pretty sure I'm like 8th or 7th generation English myself, but it all runs back down to, I believe, County Tyrone. So it'll be good. It will do my my heritage good to be reminded exactly where you come from. Also, because my mother will be turning 60, I want to make it special for her as well. I will stop at no expense to do things that are special for my mother. It's just the done thing. It's just one of those things you should do without even really having to think about it. You only get one mother, ladies and gentlemen. Take it from me. Which is also quite surprising in a sense, because 2 days after the St. Patrick's Day special is Mothering Sunday. Now, I know what you Mother's Day in the UK. I know there is a second Mother's Day that is more of an American sort of date. But for the sake... Actually, you know what? Maybe I should do... Perhaps maybe I should do like a second Mother's Day special, just because I don't know. I don't think there's any reason why we can't, for mothers and that. But then we should include like a second Father's Day. Then doesn't that seem fair enough? I guess. So there's two. So anyway, that's 3 other special events to look forward to throughout the month of March. And if my calculations are correct, because I had planned some very, very big names to come out for not just them, but also for the most recent special event that's only going to be coming out literally this time next week, International Women's Day. So you are absolutely going to get plenty of diversity and plenty of exceptional talent, it's what we strive for, ladies and gentlemen, and we do it without looking back. I like that. I like it more than maybe I'm letting on. But that's how it is. And it will probably be the same thing for when we get into April. And there'll be plenty of things to discuss there. Mostly Easter Sunday. And there's going to be at least April Fool's Day as well, which might be the only time I can really think to start maybe talking about, Weird Al Yankovic. I think maybe some comedy acts like Green Jello or something like that. That might be pretty cool. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, there is only one other thing that it might have crossed my mind to mention this, but if you have seen the shorts section on YouTube, you might be surprised to learn that I have actually started to indulge in making shorts on YouTube. You might also have noticed that they are of a very similar sort of stamp. They are basically loud exclamations that I'm going to go out and follow 1,000 people. It could be on Pinterest, Twitter, Mastodon, Twitch, TikTok, or YouTube. In fact, I put my hands into all of these hats. And surprisingly enough, it doesn't seem to have gone unnoticed by people who just go through YouTube Shorts. And some of these do vary quite significantly in terms of views. Some of them get 5, some of them get 60, some of them get as many as, I think the highest one I got is roughly about 1,500, but I was all the way back in January, I think, but maybe early January or something like that, when I'm trying to get my head around exactly what I should really do for this. Now, on one hand, it might seem as if that this is a big reason as to why a lot of my views might have gone up. And I do agree. I do agree, but my case is very simple, and I've mentioned this a few times as to why I, spread nearly 20 video shorts a day on YouTube. Is that my logic, ladies and gentlemen, is this: to avoid people being scammed by viewers, by subscribers, by genuine people to comment, the only way I can think to combat this plague is by literally following as many people as humanly possible, so that it would be easier for people to actually get to that threshold where they could start doing things for earning for their videos, and not feeling as though they actually earn something for the work and all the stuff they put out. And I check the stuff out too, ladies and gentlemen. It's, I'm not just, click, 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 click. It's, there's a lot more thought that goes into it than you might believe. And again, I mentioned this before, if everybody out there started doing this, then there would be absolutely no need whatsoever for these sort of, fake subscriber companies to exist at all, because there would be absolutely no cause for people to check them out if everybody was doing well because of each other. So, yeah, that's really why I'm doing it. And the more I get the message out, then the more people will catch on. And if the more people catch on, then more people will take notice and then listen to the authenticity of this manifesto, this campaign, if you will. Now, some people might literally turn around and say that this would never work, because if people just got more views and more subscribers and more likes and whatnot, then what's to stop the big companies from just, saying, if you want to get to start, earning money from YouTube, for example, we're going to make it so you have to get at least 10,000 subscribers and 50,000 watch hours just to be eligible. Well, the only thing I can really say to that is that if they actually did that, there would be a mutiny at Google. And if they think, that's actually going to discourage people, they've got another thing coming. So there's literally no positives whatsoever I can find to them doing this sort of thing. Especially also because I like I said, I take a good hard look at the people who at the sort of things I follow. And I can tell very, very quickly whether some accounts are just robots, some of them are just give me subscribers and, scam artists themselves. It does not particularly take a great deal to actually see through a lot of these. And the benefit of this, again, is that now I know what I'm looking for. It means I could swoop in and not give them the satisfaction. So there is like I said, a lot more of the thought that goes into it than people might think. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a campaign that is only set to continue. I mean, I think it works. I mean, if people didn't check it out, then people wouldn't be able to hear what I had to say. And if people didn't hear what I had to say, then, business would just continue and more people would be susceptible and will just fall into these scams. So I'm trying to do a service, if you will, and I just hope that it comes through in the end. So that's roughly about all I've actually got to say throughout the month of February, ladies and gentlemen. It is basic. This whole of February can best be described as making more videos, putting more videos out, learning from past mistakes, understanding my target audience, rewarding my target audience with special events, and finally, the coup de grace about what's going to be happening in March. In March, ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be all of the special events I mentioned, and it's going to be competition time for all of these events and all future events coming up. It also give me a good advantage to actually utilize my Patreon account till its fullest extent. But you didn't hear it from me. And I think you guys are going to hear a lot more about it in days to come. So I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this insight to this review of our analytics throughout the month of February. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care and bye-bye for now.